Bah, bah, bah. Oof. Oh, dude, that was awesome, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
What was that, like 500 pounds?
That? No. That was 2 times 500.
Whoa, amazing, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks. So, and how much do you bench?
No, man, sorry, I don't bench.
What do you mean you don't bench? I mean, it's like the best exercise in the world.
You know, my shoulder, whenever I bench, I have some shoulder pain. It's nagging. I don't want to risk any injuries, you know?
I see, man. I was like that in the beginning. I started implementing some rules for myself and I have no shoulder pain whatsoever, knocking on wood. Let me show you what I do to avoid shoulder injuries, and maybe that could work for you as well.
Oh, great! Please show me.
So for me personally, it all starts with a good warm-up. Getting your shoulders through their range of motion really helps to get some blood flow in there and get you prepped for your workouts. That doesn't mean you have to just go. No, you go slow and controlled. This is something I got from a man, Kelly Starrett. He has a great shoulder routine, which I discovered like 5 years ago, and now each and every training I still do. And if I don't forget, I'll put a link in the description below. So what you're doing is you go slow up and then you turn, boom. And you do that 10 times on either side in each direction, boom. Then I like to do these ones. They're all in the routine. With this, you stretch your lats as well. Then you have this one, boom. And then this one. And then this one, boom. So each and every angle of the musculature of your shoulder gets like through a greater range of motion, so you're prepped for whenever you're going to do your pressing exercises like the bench press. I want you, when you're benching, to have very stable shoulders. That means that your shoulder moves, but your scapula does not move. Your scapula or your shoulder blades stay nice and tight. Now, what do I mean with that? I don't mean that you have to contract your scapula all the way and then get everything cramped. No, what I am saying is you retract your scapula until they are like in a neutral position, and where you feel like if you go further, you're tensing it up too much. But basically just like in a comfortable position, but you want to hold that, right? And that is going to be the position you put yourself on onto the bench. From there on, you want your elbows to be tucked. So if you unrack the bar, you want your elbows not to flare out, but you want them to go in a 45-degree angle or smaller. Boom. And that way, you see, my shoulder is not coming off the bench. My shoulder is not moving. My shoulder is nice and stable. Boom. I'm going to show this one also when we're bench pressing. Okay, so on the bench, right, we want to start with our eyes underneath the barbell. This is something that works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's great. Just like try it out for yourself. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does work, that's good for you. You're not gonna harm anything by trying. Then from here on, before I start, I'm going to put my shoulders in that stable position. Boom. So you see, here they're loose, and I'm going to creep my shoulder blades closer together, not too much, and I'm going to hold it there. What I'm doing now is I'm going to push the bar out with my lats, so I'm going to open up, boom, and that is going to keep my shoulders nice and stable. Boom. Okay, we want to bring the bar from here above our eyes into a neutral position over our shoulders, and we're going to go with the bar just underneath our nipples, and we're going to keep our elbows close to our body. Not too close, but just boom, like so, 45-degree angle. And from here on, we're going to go back to a neutral position of our shoulders. So boom. 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 And you will see that my shoulder is not moving. Everything remains stable. Boom. Now this is warm-up weight. Even though this is 500 pounds times 2, this is still warm-up weight. And that is going to be the weight that determines how you feel for the rest of your working sets. This sets the base, you feel it out, you feel how your shoulder is, and that is going to let you progress into higher weights. Now, sometimes what happens with me is that I feel like something's off, something's pulling on my shoulder. And typically what that means, because I already did my shoulder routine, typically that means that my trap is a little bit tight. So what works for me is that if it feels a little bit off on one side, I just like stretch it out like so, the classic trap stretch. Boom. I try to breathe as much as possible into the muscle and I let it relax. And once I do that and I go back to the bench and it feels better, that means that my trap was probably off a little bit. Now, this is going to be the last tip that involves bench pressing. Every 4 to 8, maybe 8 to 12 weeks, I'm going to switch things up and I'm going to change to another type of bench press. And you can do that in a variety of ways. You can change the angle of the bench itself. That is going to target your shoulders and chest in a different way. You can change the width. So if I'm doing more here, I'm going to focus more on the chest. If I'm going more closely, I'm going to focus more on the triceps. But these angles are also going to attack our shoulders in a different way. Boom. Then we can also switch things up by using dumbbells or by using a barbell that has a little bit of wiggle to it. You change things up a little bit so that you still have some new challenges for your muscles and that you really build that complete shoulder. Now, the rest of the things that I'm going to talk about don't directly involve the bench press, but they're going to help you also build that complete shoulder. We have to train the antagonists, and the antagonist for pushing is pulling. So I want you to be pulling horizontally, and I have 2 great exercises for that with a variety of variations on them. So yeah, hey guys, also I'm a professional. If you see me do like 2 times 500 pounds, that's because I've done this a lot of times. Just don't jump immediately to 500 pounds. And I'm not even counting the bar. Okay, so what we're doing, boom, horizontal pull is basically like your barbell row. Boom, boom. You're going to build those shoulders and lats, and these are going to be the stable base on which you're going to build your bench press. And then another one that I really like is the face pull. I do with a cable machine. If you don't have access to a cable machine because you're training in a home gym, I really urge you to invest in a cable machine or to build one yourself. I made this one myself. I'm very proud of it. It has a weight stack as well. So yeah, do it, man. So horizontal pull is also a face pull. Bam, bam. But you can use dumbbells to do some rows. You can do a lot of exercises to build the back of your shoulder and your lats. Now, we talked about horizontal pull, but what's equally important is to do vertical push and pull. So next to barbell bench press, I also want you to do overhead press, because that is also going to build your shoulder in a different angle. And a vertical pull is something like a pull-up or a chin-up that you should also incorporate into your workout regimen. Now I talked a lot about the things that you can do before and during training. What I like to end my training with is with 2 exercises or 2 positions, right? The one thing is hanging. Hanging you shouldn't only do after a workout, but in everyday life, if you have a pull-up bar in your house or outside, I really recommend from time to time you just hang, boom. And this is going to open up your shoulders a lot. It's going to prep your shoulders for everyday life, but also for the bench press. Boom. And then if you have done your bench press, what I also recommend is you stretch those chest muscles out. Boom, like so. This is called the doorway stretch, and I really think that this helps because If you just trained your chest and everything is like cramped and pumped up, what helps is to open things up a little bit so that you don't get a rounded posture into your day-to-day life. If your shoulders hunch forward, you're going to put more stress on your shoulders, and if you're then going to bench press on that weakened shoulder, that is not okay. So if you can open up our chest and keep our shoulders neutral and keep that shoulder healthy in its place, that is a good way to go. And that brings me to my last point. If you go to everyday life, just be mindful of your posture. That doesn't mean, again, that you should squeeze and walk like this. No, that means that you keep your shoulders neutral whenever you feel like they're rounded over, or whenever you just like catch yourself being like this or being like this on your phone, you'll be like, oh man, I need to have a neutral posture so that my shoulder health is a lot better. That has helped me tremendously, keeping my shoulder healthy when bench pressing, and yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. So yes, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you're now going to bench press pain-free because you deserve it. And I guess I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace!